Let's call the meeting to order. Dr. Tom, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Ms. Bradley?
Here.
Ms. Clodfelter? Ms. Nyworth?
Here.
Ms. Edwards?
Here.
Mr. Jester?
here.
Colonel King?
Here.
Dr. Thomas, I believe we have some special guests in the audience
and
tonight.
I will introduce Ms. Brenda Spencer-Ragland, President, CEO of the Lawton Fort Sill Chamber of Commerce.
Ms. Jennifer Ellis, our chairperson. I also have with us some very special guests with me, Kelly and Nathan Harbert, who were really instrumental in helping us support this presentation we're going to make. So if you come on over here. So as we were preparing for our annual banquet, we said we really want to give back to someone that is important with our community. You mean, oh, get over here, I'm on TV? I didn't want to be on TV. So anyway, as we were preparing for our annual chamber banquet this year, Jennifer and I were talking about how do we give back to the community? And we had just read a nomination for the Teacher of the Year. So Miss Ashley here, in knowing and recognizing all that she does each and every day to go over and above, and we were thinking about, you know, she gives so much love. How do we help give back love to those students? So Jennifer and I, you know, thinking, not over a meal, but we decided we wanted to support the backpack program that you do to make sure that no child goes home hungry. So sharing this with Nathan and Kelly, they stepped in. They also donated a trip that we could auction off. So Dr. Tom and Patty, Jennifer and I, and Nathan and Kelly would like to present a check to Lawton Public School. Sir?
Thank you.
$5,052. $2,500 was a direct support of the trip that Nathan and Kelly donated. Their annual vacation they gave to us for this program. The rest was due to a dessert dash that we did that generated a little over $2,000, and we also dunked the mayor of Medicine Park and the mayor of City of Lawton, and we made another $500. So this is just the first presentation for what we hope becomes a trend, a habit to LPS. We appreciate what you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, I do have the actual check.
Oh, well. You can give that to those ladies. I don't handle money. All right, is that our only special guest today?
Ms. Brownfield is right behind you, our CFO.
She'll take that check.
There's 2 checks in there. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, when they called and told me they wanted to do that, I was like, yay. Great thing. All right.
That goes to the food backpack program.
The backpack for kids that go home every.
With food, yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
All righty. Architect time. Corey is here. I saw it. There he is. He said,
Sat on the other side.
I know.
you did. You faked me
They're
out
on
there.
the saw.
Well, good evening. I'm Corey Miller with Architects in Partnership. Brief update tonight. The Lawton High Windows Project, we met last Thursday and went through the punch list items. We're down to just a handful there that the contractor's working on, finishing up his O&M manuals. Those have been reviewed, and he's got some comments on those, but coming to completion very soon on that one. Regarding other projects, The safe rooms, we've got a change order, I believe, on the agenda for tonight that will return the unused portions of contingency, project requirements, which is our reimbursables, and then our testing and inspections allowances. There is an updated copy in the board packet, though, that revises the amount that's coming back and increases that value by about $2,500. Takes the total to $421,336. Sorry. With the Eisenhower furniture design, we've got our 95% review scheduled for Thursday of this week. And then I met today also on the warehouse freezer and refrigerator project. That one's back up and going. I think we've got a plan forward to get a replacement freezer and cooler into the existing warehouse facility. So we're going to plow forward with that and try to get it out as quickly as possible. Any questions for me before Crosland gives an update?
So unusual to get money back.
Well, yes, we were very fortunate, planned well with contingency there, but also didn't have to use it all, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Josh is back.
Howdy, howdy. Finished all my training for the military, so I'm
Alright.
back now. Like Corey mentioned on the safe rooms, got the deductive change order come back to you guys and to use elsewhere. Right now we got TCO on all the safe rooms, so teachers can occupy, students can go in, they can set up. Right now we submitted the last of some drawings to the city of Lawton for some final approval so we can get our official certificate of occupancy. They were wanting some information for the floodplain, two of the buildings are low, so we had to provide some information, so.
I know there was some issues yesterday about getting in because those are classrooms now.
Yes. Yeah, there should be no issues getting in. I will follow up and figure out, make sure that everybody has keys and everything.
Yeah, we appreciate
Corey
that.
mentioned possibility of a key missing for Woodland Hills, so I'll track that down and make sure we have that resolved
The
tomorrow.
music teacher's freaking out, yes.
So I'll find out about the keys and get
Okay.
that determined, so. The next one, any questions on the multiple safe rooms? Whittier, we got the building pad completed. We're currently working on the site utilities, the sewer, the gas, the water. We will start digging all the footings, the concrete foundations tomorrow, and then the crane will show up on the 25th, and we start standing panels the 26th of August.
Wow.
So kind of give you a timeline, and then we'll look about 2 weeks of standing panels and getting them where we need to be. So Whittier's short and sweet. Any issues or questions on Whittier? Going into the middle school, I put this status report that Mike was doing prior to him leaving. Kind of hits all the highlights as far as what we're doing right now. We got the second floor slabs we're still pouring. We have the last little section that we're pouring on Tuesday, a week from tomorrow. So after that, we'll have all the second floor slab poured. And so we're progressing quite nicely. The stage, we poured the stage last Friday, and then we'll be pouring the cafeteria in about 2 weeks. And the kitchen, we're working on the kitchen now. So we have just a little bit of left of concrete, and we'll be out of there. Steel, the crane showed back up today, and we're standing the steel inside the music and band area, and then from there we'll transverse into the auditorium, stand that, and then just keep working around the building, finishing it up. The brick veneer, it's starting to come on around the southeast corner, and we're wrapping around the building, so you'll start seeing that from the road here not too long. And then EFIS, we're looking at EFIS starting around the 19th of August, so you'll start seeing a lot more color come out of the building itself. As far as the financial status, we still haven't touched contingency this month. Still at 986. Hours worked, about 3.5 million hours. It's kind of our safety area. Still looking about 17 days behind as far as we're showing right
amazing.
now. About the 25th of August for overall completion. So that's what we're tracking right now. We're pushing. Hopefully make some more up this summer. Hopefully the fall is nice to us. No rain or very minimal rain. Some milestones on here that we have the concrete. We initially were shooting for July 10th. Rain pushed us back, so we're looking for concrete completion around the 1st of September. And then steel and masonry right after that as far as the block. Percent complete, we're sitting at 35% in relation to cost. Weather days hasn't changed. And then after that, we're looking at one of the next things we're actually fixing to start doing is the ceramic wall and floor tile in the main gymnasium. We're getting to the point where we got to start putting that in there as well. And then we're scheduling right now to have a tour for the board members. I'm working with the bosses, maybe looking at the end of August for you guys. So I'll get the date finalized, and we have an owners meeting next week, and I'll give the date to Corey and to the LPS team there. So, any questions on middle school?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Move on to 6A, departmental reports. Does anybody have any questions of the business operations or educational reports? No? Okay, let's go to 6B. That would be your bus driver incentive pay.
We brought this item to you at the last board meeting, and you asked for more information, so Trey is here to answer questions if you have any. What we did was looked at all the surrounding areas on bus driver pay, and the goal here is to be able to hire 14 more bus drivers. And the issue is starting pay is not competitive. The 8 towns we list above Lawton, their average is $14.10. And so what Trey is proposing is that we move starting pay for bus drivers to $11.92, which is a grade 3 to a grade 8 change. And of course, every one of the other bus drivers will get their share of that increase also. It's not just the beginning. For the bus drivers we have on salary right now, plus the 14 we hope to hire, the difference would be approximately $55,000 in pay. And then for the CDL and the endorsements, for someone that's not driving a bus, it's prohibitively expensive to take the class, try for the CDL, take the test, get the certifications. And so we would propose that on the 45th contract day, if they're still with us, we would reimburse those costs. And that would be about $4,000 for the district. And then as a retention of driver stipends for no at-fault accidents for the calendar year, $250 stipend, and that would cost us about $15,000. If there are 2 or less days absence, absence is a big issue for Trey and bus drivers, and so trying to give them an incentive to be there, there'd be another $250 at the end of the school year. All told, that would cost the district about $76,500. Again, the goal being to be able to get 14 more bus drivers in, service all our routes appropriately, and keep those late bus arrivals from happening as much as possible.
Trey, how many drivers are we short right now?
We've got 14 spots.
Still have 14? Okay. I was hoping.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I was hoping we had some more hires this week.
I really like the incentive for the
Safety.
attendance. I
Yes,
mean, when I was doing bus duty and all that, that was a big issue, so.
Sure, absolutely.
Anything you want to tell us about it?
Well, I think it's a step in the right direction. I think putting people on staff, is ultimate goal, and trying to take care of the people that we have on staff. I think we need to make sure and be aware of them also. So.
Any questions from you guys?
I want to say I'm still really concerned. When you look at the competition with Cash paying $16.67, we've got Elgin at $15.62. We have Walters at $17 an hour, Frederick at $15 an hour, Altus at $16 an hour. I recognize that obviously from $10.73 to $11.92 is a step in the right direction, and I think the additional incentives and everything sound great. But I don't, is this going to move the needle at all? Because we've committed to the community that the plan we have in place right now that everybody is upset with is a 1-year solution to buy us enough time to fix the problem. And just looking at it from purely a business standpoint, I don't see how that's going to fix the problem at all.
Comments?
Well, what I will say is that where we're at, to where we're going, how big a commitment are we willing to make here? Because you're jumping 3 pay grades, and if some of their starting pays are more than 0 steps. 0 steps at 18. Grade 18 is 1437 through LPS. That is above a lot of the starting pays around here, and that's through a step 18 here. So what I'd like to see is us move in the right direction. I mean, if we're willing to make a bigger commitment, then that is great. But when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at where we are and what we can do, because at the end of the day, I don't want to bring something forward that's going to burden the district and not be a possibility. So if we're willing to, I mean, it's an easy step to be able to move these things forward. So
have we looked at this? Is there a reason that we're not talking about $14.50 an hour? Like, why is that off the table for some reason? Or do we need to be looking at what it's cost what it costs. I mean, unfortunately, with the other surrounding communities paying what they're paying, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you're trying to look from the outside, somebody from the outside doesn't care whether or not it's an improvement on what was. If I'm a retired person at home thinking about needing to go back to work or whatever, it doesn't matter to me what it was, it matters to me what it is, right? So I just wonder, have we looked at like the impact of, because here's my concern, if we do this and it doesn't fix the problem, and I just looking at it doesn't seem to me like it could, then and further evidence by the fact that we've hired nobody, I mean, we're hurting badly, then we're increasing our operational costs without fixing the problem. And they, in my opinion, deserve that and more. I mean, we need to be paying them more, period. So, I mean, I'm totally in favor of increasing costs to pay them what the market says is worth. I'm just wondering why we're not talking about making $14 or $15 an hour happen.
I'm sure it's a budget
It has to
consideration.
do with the other employees, the other grades, and what their job descriptions are and what they do. What he's saying is that we're gonna have to raise the bar in a lot of other areas,
So
possibly.
if you raise transportation, you would then have to raise unrelated.
Well, we'd be going up to grade 14. I think he said in order to get up to around 14 or.
it would be off our scale starting out. We would have to create a whole new scale for $16 because, let me see if my math is right. I think our top scale would be $1.63 short of reaching $16. So we would have to create a whole new scale just to be able to start out at $16. And I do want to say this. When I talk to all these surrounding schools, and the ones who paid $14 and $12.50 and $16, they all had one thing in common. They were looking for bus drivers. So, that being said, I do think an increase is needed for Lawton Public Schools, but we have been out of the range for so long. Now we're really going to have to make a commitment to get us back into the playing field here.
And I think we're all prepared for that, you know,
Sure.
like I'm excited to see a
Sure.
proposal that's gonna fix the problem and, you know, whatever. And I don't understand how this department in an education environment like this, how one department affects another department in terms of grades and things like that. So I realize what I'm suggesting may be completely impossible. I just want it out there because I feel like,
If you remember last month, we moved office managers at the middle schools and high schools to a grade 10 and a grade 12.
Yep.
And they've got financial responsibility. So what Ken is saying is true, is there may not be a direct relationship, but they will all know what
So
we
that
did for
they
the
would
bus
view it that
drivers, so
way.
they will be in line
got you.
with their case. And I think what 1192 is Trey's best guess on what it might take to start to bring the applicants in. And I've looked at the pay of some of the long-term bus drivers, and they're doing pretty good. One of the things that you'll notice is we're paying for 6 hours a day, and
Yeah, I saw
Elgin's
that.
4.
Yep, I did
So
notice
for the
that.
time, you know,
That's- you
they
pay
may
more for
enjoy their
sure.
time off, but they probably would rather get 6 than 4 hours,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm gonna guess.
Yes, sir.
Which brings them a little more money.
And we're by far the largest district. You're talking about 5 to 12 to 16 bus drivers compared to 85 and 90 here. So it's quite a difference in funding for us.
Well, and our
compared
routes
to-
aren't as long as these rural
Right.
Or-
I
know we have some that are-
It is all over the place when you talk to, no school district does it the same. It is all over the place, so.
Would it be fair to say that this, if we did approve this would just be a start? We continue
Continue to look at
the
it.
problem and try to analyze it and look at the big picture as well.
Yeah, I would propose we at least do this
Oh, yeah.
and then revisit this if this doesn't bring him the results he's hoping
Yeah.
for.
For sure. And would it be possible that we just agree, 2 months from now to look at whether or not that has worked at recruiting? And if not, we can start to get more serious about it. I just don't want to end up into the school year in a panic and looking at like, we're going to have to continue this schedule.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But I don't think we can look at just bus drivers. I
No,
think
that's-
all of that is a package deal probably.
SPPCs.
Sounds like
I
it.
think we're gonna have to rely on Ms. Brownhill to tell us where we are money-wise
Yeah.
before we commit, because we've
Sure.
also got the teacher pay raise coming,
Yep.
Sure.
and they won't give us enough money for everybody that you're gonna wanna give a raise to, so we've got obligations there also.
For sure.
So, I mean, we have to look at the big picture before we start
Absolutely.
Doling it out.
increasing one group over
Yeah,
another.
and I don't know if there's other creative solutions too that we could look at as far as reducing I don't have any idea, but reducing the number of kids that we need to bus or doing anything different that doesn't involve doing the schedules like they
Well,
are.
that's a discussion that needs to be
Yeah.
had, because you passed a policy last year to reduce
Yes.
or to expand the area in which we would not bus from a school, but we haven't implemented that, so that would have impact too. If you decide to go ahead and implement that mile and a half policy for next year, that would impact the number of routes and drivers needed.
Yep,
But that takes warning. I mean, that's
Yes.
something
For
you don't
sure.
want to just,
which is exactly, so
Right.
we'd want to.
That's why we
That
didn't
will
do
be a
it this
painful
time.
process.
Yeah, I just think we need to continue to look at, obviously, it's complicated and there's a lot of moving parts, but it's critically important that we fix it and.
okay, we'll keep it on the front burner.
Are the bus drivers busy the whole 6 hours?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Very, very busy.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more questions or a motion?
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Bradley,
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth,
Yes.
Ms. Edwards,
Yes.
Mr. Jester.
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for
very
your
much.
work.
Thank you.
Superintendent's report, item 7A is informational, the organizational chart.
Organizational chart, you should have the organizational chart there, and we have, Dr. Baden has pulled the educational services group kind of back together in this hallway, and you can see that Rick, Mark, and Brenda are the executive directors, with elementary schools, middle schools, grants, athletics under them. And then on the other side, the technical services from the media center, you've got AJ, David, Jeremy Tanner, Trey, Steve Dyer, and Dave McDermott. Jean and Paula are parallel in the organizational chart under Ken. Lynn, Miss Brownhill, and Kathy Bentley will report directly to me as bonds and finance.
Okay, looks good. Thank you, that's good. Anything else under your report? No?
Not
Ready?
unless you have questions about that.
That's good.
Consent agenda, anybody have anything to be removed?
I do have some good news to share.
Oh.
Under superintendent's announcements.
Well, go right ahead.
Lawton FFA chapter honors. Last year's chapter, Future Farmers of America, continue to accumulate honors. Chapter was recently named a 3-star gold emblem chapter, which is the
That's the
highest
highest you can go.
recognition nationally that they can achieve. And I'm told that hasn't been achieved since the 90s.
Wow.
So that's great. We've got 2 students named finalists in the individual competition for the state, along with the state ag communications team. The students themselves are Gabby Barber, ag communications, Eisenhower High, top 4 in the nation.
Wow.
Madison Mueller, National Ag Science Fair finalist, Eisenhower High, top 12 in the nation in her division. Students winning ag communications team, food science team will compete for national titles. They are Gabby Barber, Tiffany Snow, Colby Gilpin, Elizabeth Kopsky. And in food science technology, we have Madison Mueller, Alexis Barnes, Haley Barnes, and Jonathan Lewinsky. And that's a combined team of Eisenhower and MacArthur high schools.
They're awesome.
They will be at a September board meeting. They will be here, okay.
Well, and we also want to know when the watermelon feed is. Would you make sure we get that date, ma'am? That's a lot of fun, guys, if you haven't been.
And I also have one other piece of good news. Of course, you know, under our SIP bond, we purchased a lot of new furniture about the same time that Moffett Schools in eastern Oklahoma County was flooding. They lost all of their furniture and supplies, so we were able to work through the compassionate utilization of resources to transport our desks to Moffett, and they were able to reuse those desks and furnish their school and get school started.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and we didn't have anything to do with them,
So
so.
they found second life.
That's great.
That was on Facebook, in case anybody wants to see it. It's cool.
That's great
Thank you.
news.
All right. All right, let's move on to the consent agenda. Anything to be removed? Do I have a motion?
Don't have any.
A motion for approval? Oh, we substitute, we need to mention that, don't we?
Oh, yes.
We had the change order documents from the architect that were in the original agenda have been replaced with this one, and we get more money back. So we're happy to substitute this. Is that good enough for you, Kathy? Huh?
It's in the consent agenda.
Yeah,
That's what we're.
Yeah.
Item 8G1A, change order number 7. So we want to substitute this one.
Yeah,
I'll
make
a
that part of your motion.
Make that part of the motion, as well as to approve the rest of the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
All righty.
I had questions walking in, and Teresa Donahue so graciously answered them for me about the consent agenda. So thank you, Teresa. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
it's always good. That's why we, anytime, they love to tell us ahead of time, don't you? All right, I believe we need an executive session. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to go to executive session.
Second.
Call the roll.
Who was the second?
Me.
Okay.
Ms. Meary?
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
All right, let's return. Is there a vote to acknowledge return to open session?
Make a motion we return to open session.
Second?
Call the roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
The Board of Education went into executive session at 5:27 PM. Members present were Patty Nyworth, Vice President, Kelly Edwards, Mary Bradley, and Kent Jester. Other persons present included Dr. Tom Thomas, Interim Superintendent. Items discussed included the employing, promoting, or receiving resignations of individuals, certified, and support personnel as listed on the certified and support personnel reports posted with the agenda. An interim elementary assistant principal, a middle school assistant principal, and an elementary principal. During the executive session, the board discussed these items and no other items, and no action was taken. The board returned to open session at 6 PM. This constitutes the minutes of an executive session. All right. And my little agenda just keeps jumping around. Got that out. All right. Statement. Superintendent's personnel report.
Thank you. You do have two reports in here, one on certified personnel, and it starts with resignations and then employments. And same thing for support personnel, a listing of administrative assignment changes, and we would ask that you approve those reports as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Call the roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Colonel King?
Next, we would have the employment of an interim elementary assistant principal at Freedom, and we would recommend Chelsea Young for that position.
Make a motion to approve. Second?
Call the roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Miss Edwards?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Middle school, elementary,
Now let's do the middle school.
yeah, elementary is D9. C9, or 9C, middle school assistant principal, 10-month. At Tomlinson Middle School, we'd like to recommend Elena McNeil.
Make a motion to approve. Second?
Call the roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Miss Edwards?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Chuck, let me ask you, we had up in the 9 where we went into executive session, the elementary principal hiring, but it's not on 13 where we're doing the come back and do the action. Can we go ahead and do the elementary principal?
So it's on 13D.
I don't have it on my agenda.
13B, approval of employment.
Yeah.
Interim elementary assistant principal.
She's talking about the next one.
No, I'm talking about
Oh,
the
other
elementary
one,
principal.
The elementary principal.
Oh.
13D.
13D.
There isn't a 13D on my
We don't have a
agenda.
13D.
There is no
It's
13D.
printed when they.
Okay, good.
Printed.
As long as that's okay, it's not on our,
I'm looking at it.
okay.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
good.
well, forge ahead,
For
Dr.
Crosby
Tom.
Park Elementary, we'd like to recommend Dr. Kimberly Haney for principal.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Call the roll?
Miss Bradley?
Yes.
Miss Nyworth?
Yes.
Miss Edwards?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
All right, any new business?
No, ma'am.
Next regular board meeting will be Thursday, August 22nd at 5 here at Shoemaker Center, and a spatial workshop will be prior to that at 4 o'clock. Okay? Any other board meeting dates need to be set at this time?
Nope.
Any board announcements? Nope. Mr.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Call the roll.
Miss Bradley?
Yes.
Miss Nyworth?
Yes.
Miss Edwards?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
She
Yes.
quits doing that. We're gonna have to find somebody new next year.